Hey, if you enjoy the stories I share, please take a second to subscribe. It really helps me keep going, and I'm incredibly grateful for your support. Now, let's dive into today's story. I was brushing my teeth when I heard my daughter's voice drifting in from the living room. She was reading something aloud in her soft, sing-song tone. Asterisk, can't wait to feel your hands on me again. Last night was unforgettable. When will your wife be out of the house next? Asterisk, my body froze. Toothbrush still in my mouth. I couldn't move. For a second, the room tilted. I spat, wiped my mouth, and ran into the living room. There she was, Emma, our 9-year-old, standing in the center of the rug, holding my phone like it was a storybook. Her eyes were wide, confused, innocent. And there he was, Nathan, my husband, leaning against the wall, arms folded, face emotionless. He didn't say a word. My phone buzzed again in Emma's hand. Another message from Evan. Another message I never deleted. That was the moment I realized Nathan wasn't going to yell or curse. He wasn't going to throw things or beg for an explanation. He was going to break me slowly, with silence, with precision, with terrifying calm. But maybe I should rewind back to the beginning. Back before Evan. Back before I let my marriage decay behind a mask of normalcy. Nathan and I were married for 12 years. We met in college, moved in together right after graduating, and by 30 we had Emma for the first several years. Things were good, solid. Nathan was steady, dependable, and quietly intelligent. He wasn't the grand romantic gesture type, but he loved us with his whole being, just in his own way. I, on the other hand, craved fire. I wanted passion, unpredictability, late-night confessions, and kisses that made me forget to breathe. And over time, that hunger turned into loneliness, especially after Emma was born. I didn't fall out of love with Nathan. I just felt lost in the silence between us, in the spreadsheets and muted dinners in front of the TV, in the forgotten date nights and half-hearted hugs. Still, I convinced myself I was a good wife. I did the laundry. I went to PTA meetings. I smiled when people asked how we were doing. I faked sleep when he reached for me. Then came Evan. He was new at work, charming, smooth, full of compliments. He made me feel noticed. The first time he flirted, I laughed it off. The second time I didn't. It started innocently. A compliment here, a joke there, but it quickly became something else. Texts, long conversations, teasing that turned to touching. It got physical once, then twice, then it became routine. I justified it by telling myself Nathan didn't care, that he barely noticed I was slipping away, that we were just roommates, that I deserved this thrill. Even when Nathan started asking subtle questions, who's texting you this late? Or, you seem different lately, everything okay? I kept lying. I told myself he didn't really want the truth. Then one evening, his phone died, and he asked to borrow mine. I froze. He saw it. I still handed it to him. He didn't say anything that night. I thought maybe I'd dodged a bullet. Maybe he didn't look. He did. And he waited days, until a quiet Sunday afternoon, when I left my phone on the coffee table and went to take a shower. A new message came in. Nathan picked up the phone, and instead of confronting me, he handed it to our daughter. He told her to read the messages out loud, like a bedtime story. Emma didn't understand. She thought it was a game. By the time I rushed in, the damage was done. I stood there shaking, staring at the wreckage. Nathan, I whispered, "Give me the phone." He gently took it from Emma's hands and passed it to me without making eye contact. Then he kissed her forehead and told her to go draw something in her room. "How long?" he asked, voice flat. "Nathan." "How long, Madison?" I stared at the floor. "Almost 6 months." "Evan?" he asked. I nodded. "Yes." He didn't shout, didn't accuse, just stood there, silent and unreadable. "Do you love him?" "No. I don't even know why I did it." A lie. I knew exactly why. I just didn't want to say it out loud. Didn't want to sound as selfish as I was. He nodded like he already knew that too. Then he said, "You have 1 week to tell Emma the truth, or I will." I panicked. "You wouldn't." "She's 9, Nathan. She doesn't even understand. She understand betrayal just fine, he said, cutting me off. She just watched her mom freak out over a message from another man. Don't pretend she doesn't feel it already. That week was hell. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't figure out how to tell my daughter the truth without completely destroying her innocence. But Nathan wasn't bluffing. Exactly 1 week later, he sat Emma down and gently told her that Mommy had made a mistake that hurt our family, that we needed time apart to heal. He didn't say the word affair, but the way Emma looked at me said she understood more than enough. She wouldn't speak to me for 2 days. Nathan moved in with his brother. We agreed on shared custody, but I knew he didn't trust me alone with her. He double-checked everything, coordinated every exchange like it was a military operation. The divorce papers came a month later, but that wasn't the part that hurt the most. It was the drawings. Emma started sketching our family with just 2 people, or she'd draw herself and Nathan on one side of a brick wall, me on the other. One night, she left a picture on my pillow, a stick figure with tears falling from its eyes and a broken heart above it. Just one word scribbled across the top. Why? I cried for hours. I tried apologizing to Nathan again, not to win him back. I knew that was impossible, but just to show I knew what I'd done. He listened, but his eyes were different now, distant. Then one night, during a custody handoff, Emma clung to Nathan and whispered, "I don't want to go with Mommy." And that was it. That was the moment my heart shattered. Nathan didn't lash out, didn't twist the knife. He just knelt down and said, "We have to be fair. Mommy loves you too." And she went with me. But the silence in the car was deafening. It's been almost a year since that day. Nathan and I are officially divorced. Emma lives with me during the week and stays with Nathan on weekends. She's doing better. But sometimes when a phone buzzes or voices rise, she flinches. That's when I remember she's still carrying the wreckage of my choices. As for Evan, he disappeared the minute Nathan confronted him. Vanished like none of it ever meant anything. And maybe that's how it should be, because the only real thing about that affair was the destruction it left behind.